welcome to A Married at First Sight, season 16, episode 8. And this is for the after party, y'all. This is the after party. And on the after party was Jasmine, Nicole, and Adam. And let me tell you, the biggest thing that went on in this after party was lying. Adam, I'm telling you, she racked up the lies. She acts like there's no tape, no footage. The biggest lie that Dom told in this whole after party was Keisha asked her, what would it have taken for you to give the marriage more time? And she said that if Mack would have sat down and said to her, I really want this marriage to work. I think we need some more time. I want to stick in the marriage. She would have stayed. Woo! This girl is a liar. I'm not going to go all the way in on Dom in this after party because I did a whole video on her. Be sure to watch my other videos on the individual couples. But I went all the way in on her because she has given Gina and McKinley a run for their money in terms of lying. Especially Gina, because Gina has been crowned the #1 liar in this poll I've been doing. But Dom sure showed out on this after party. She came in playing the victim with her tears and everything, saying she's the victim. She is the victim of everyone out here. And she is so sad that she now has to walk around and say she is a divorced woman. She is sad to say that at 25 years old, she's got to run around in Nashville. And when she meets men and meets other people, the words have to come out of her mouth. I am a divorced woman. And let me tell you what else is going to be worse, Dom, besides saying you're a divorced woman. They're going to ask you, you're divorced, why, what happened? Because that's every question people ask a divorced person is, why did you get divorced? And Dom's question, Dom is not going to have a good answer. Dom is not going to have a good answer. She's going to talk about she was on Married at First Sight. She was paired with a stranger. She's going to give this whole story. And then all those dates are going to go back and Google Married at First Sight season 16. They're going to watch the episodes and then they're going to ghost her and not call her back. They're going to ghost her and not call her back because they're going to realize she's a liar. And that when she describes situations, they're not the situation at all. Dom is probably not going to be married until probably she's almost, I don't know, maybe 32, because she's going to need a lot of years to prove to people that she's changed, she's grown, and she's learned. No one's going to believe that after 1 year that she's changed and grown. No man's going to date her seriously. They're not going to believe it. They won't believe it because they're going to look at this tape and they're going to realize she needs a lot of work. And they're going to believe, how could you get through all that work in 1 year? She ain't gonna get married till she about 32, y'all. 32. It's not, and that's not old. So she got time. She got time to just get married and have babies right away. She got time, but it's gonna be a long time before somebody want to marry a Dom. A long time. But they showed Jasmine that clip with Felina saying how to, and Jasmine confirmed, I didn't want her at my party. I don't like that woman. I do not like that woman that doesn't like wearing a bra and who hates me for no reason. Came to the wedding hating me before she even met me. How you gonna hate somebody before you even met them? Felina hated Jasmine before she even saw Jasmine, and then she just started coming up with different things to hate her more. She hated her in that little foyer when she was talking to Aerys. She hated that girl already. She just hated the thought of her. Felina is something else. Something else. But Jasmine said she don't care. I praised Jasmine in my video for standing up and not inviting all that hate into your house. Jasmine was already dealing with enough of the attitude of Aerys. Why Jasmine need to be a tag team between the cousin and Aerys in her own home on her housewarming party? I'm with Jasmine. I wouldn't have invited all that into my house at one time. Aerys is a handful himself. Or why would you want to invite this other girl, Felina, there as well to double team and double team on you? Jasmine would have been outmatched. I agree with her. Invitation revoked. But Jasmine said, you know what? She gets along well with Aerys' mother. She talks to her all the time. She loves Aerys' mother. Jasmine seemed to think that Felina's advice was going on and have sex with your husband was good advice. But Jasmine did say, I didn't just want to have sex to have sex. But Jasmine, that wasn't good advice because Felina was setting you up. I said this in my video. The only reason Felina was trying to say, go ahead and have sex with your husband, be because she already knew that Aerys didn't like Jasmine. If Aerys really liked Jasmine, she would not have been encouraging him to have sex with her because she wouldn't have wanted that to happen. The only reason why Felina was encouraging Aerys to have sex with Jasmine because she wanted Aerys to dog out Jasmine, have sex with her, and leave her and dump her. That's what she wanted. She wanted some tread tracks on the back of Jasmine's back because that's what happens to Felina out here in the world. A man sleep with her and then dump her. And she wanted Jasmine to have the same fate. She wasn't looking out for Jasmine. All the hate she has for Jasmine, and all of a sudden now she's trying to give Aerys words to make his marriage work. Girl, get out of here. You was encouraging this man to do what you normally do, Aerys, sleep with them and leave them. Why you not sleeping with her why you not sleeping with her and leaving her like you do all the other women? Why you not using her body like you use all the other women? You don't care about none of them, so why don't you go ahead and do the same thing with her? Sleep with her and then leave her. That's what she was encouraging. It had nothing to do with looking out for Jasmine. Not at all. Nicole says she's surprised by Aerys's not being attracted to Jasmine. Everybody's surprised. Let me tell you, Jasmine's negatives are not so negative that he should have this much blockage. But Nicole said he has blocked himself from caring from Jasmine. Bingo. It doesn't matter who would have showed up here on this screen, y'all. And Aerys wouldn't have been attracted to him. It doesn't matter who would have showed up. And even if he was physically attracted to them, he would have had problems in the marriage. Aerys's problems go way beyond physical attraction and looks with a woman. It is clear as day that his problems are well beyond being physically attracted to a woman. He's 39 years old. If the problem was just a physical attraction, he would have already been with someone. He's lived in California. Tons of beautiful women in California. You mean to tell me he ain't rolled up on no beautiful woman before? You mean to tell me he hasn't had sex or been in a relationship with a woman he thought was physically attracted? What happened, Aerys? What happened? It's not about physical looks. I'm tired of him even saying that because that puts all the work on the woman. It puts all the work on you. The problem. You're not physically attractive to me. Well, what do you need to do, Aerys? Nothing. If I can just tell you I'm not attracted to you because you're not physically attractive, then there's nothing for me to do. I can just walk around and say this all the time. Ugh. Y'all know that's my pet peeve. My pet peeve is people who don't want to acknowledge when they need to do changes and make improvements to themselves. That is my pet peeve. And Aerys is on it. Ugh. He pokes that finger into my sensitive spot all the time. But Dom got on here lying and trying to act, talking about getting a decision was the toughest decision she ever made in her life. Girl, it was not the toughest decision. Dom made this decision to end her marriage in all of 5 days. All of 5 days, y'all. It took me a longer than 5 days to pick out my health care plan. And this girl came to the decision to end her marriage, but yet it was the hardest decision of her life. So the hardest decision of your life, you came to the conclusion all in 5 days. I take longer than 5 days to figure out where I want to go on vacation. Woo, I take longer than 5 days to figure out what I'm going to serve at this next party I'm going to have. And she said she made a whole decision to leave a marriage in 5 days. But it was the hardest decision of her life, and she over here crying about it. No, she's not. She's over here crying because now on this after party, she's already started to get some of the backlash from friends and family and other people. That's why she's crying. She's crying now because she knows she looks bad. That's why she's crying. She's not crying because she's all sad over. Girl, I'm so done with Dom. Watch my video on her. I really go in on her. She sat up here and said that what really broke the straw that broke the camel's back when she knew she wanted a divorce was because Mack didn't stand up for himself. That's what she said. And that he didn't say he wanted a divorce when she knew he really did. So she had to speak up for both of them. Well, you just said that if he would have said he wanted to stay in the marriage, you would have stayed. So he obviously was saying he wanted to stay in the marriage. So in one way, he was saying he wanted to stay in the marriage, but then you clown him and punk him for saying that because you say he really wanted to be out of the marriage. And so you had to speak up and speak for him too. So now all of a sudden, you blaming him for wanting to be out of the marriage. And now all of a sudden you speaking up for him. Girl, get out of here. You just said you didn't want to do nothing for him, but now you want to speak for him. Didn't all episode and season long the honeymoon, she kept saying how she don't want to be his cheerleader. She don't want to do nothing for him. She don't want to prop him up. But then when it comes to time to getting divorced, she says, I'm willing to speak for you. This girl is something else. So she picks and chooses when she wants to do something for Mack and stand up for him. No. Once again, she wasn't doing nothing for Mack. She was doing it for herself. Talking about she was speaking on his behalf. This girl know how to spin a lie. And she thinks I believe it. Girl, I'm not 25. I know a lie when I see it. I know a lie when I see it and hear it. And this is a lie. Nicole tried to speak something to her. Say, you know what? Sometimes the marriage would have been even more for you. You would have learned something about yourself. I do believe that. I think Don would have been better off staying in the marriage, waiting to the end and getting a divorce, because I think she would have learned something about herself. Because one thing I realized in this episode was she is very, very unaware of who she is. She thinks she's done nothing wrong. She thinks she has nothing to prove. Even when people ask her, could you have done anything differently? She says no. Another one of my pet peeves. You couldn't have done anything differently? Nothing at all? Nothing at all? You've gone through a whole marriage and you haven't come up with anything you could have done differently? She's more than young, y'all. She's acting dumb. She is more than young. She's acting dumb. And like I talk about my video with her, I think she got a morality issue. She does a whole lot of lying and a whole lot of taking no accountability. And to me, that's more than being young. That's also a morality issue. But no, Nicole is coming on here talking about how she was afraid to run over, that she was going to run all over Chris. But she said she learned something. So in between the filming and in between this after party, she says she has learned that her husband actually does know how to speak his mind. I said that. I knew that. But what he's not willing to do is scream and yell and say something 10, 15 times. That's a completely different thing. Just because I don't want to yell and scream and say the same things 15 different times, it doesn't mean I don't tell you what I want. And what she says she's learned is that when he's ambivalent or indifferent to something, he just says, I don't care. You can do what you want. It's like someone saying, oh, what do you want for dinner? I don't care. Whatever you get, I'll eat it. Doesn't matter. I'll get whatever you want. But when I really want tacos, or when I really want, Italian food, or I really want Greek food, or I really want sushi, I say it. I want sushi. I want a Greek food. I want to go to this restaurant. I say it. But when I really don't care, I go, you know what? I don't care. We can go wherever you want to go. That doesn't mean I don't stand up for myself. That just means everything ain't worth fighting for. And I don't know. I guess Nicole has been in such relationships where she's always got to fight for everything, because she probably goes out and dates men who are just like her. And now she doesn't understand when a lot of people don't care about all this little petty stuff, what the theme of a party is. Chris don't care what the theme of this party was. That don't mean he's a pushover. But Jasmine did say she was kind of mad at Mack for bringing up the question in that little group party about who's not having sex, because she let us know that Mack and Aerys are probably two of the closest people on the show, and they talk all the time. So Mack was clearly aware that they weren't having sex. So why did he bring it up? He brought it up because production told him to bring it up. You know, Mack didn't come up with that question on his own. Production told him, ask this question, and he did what he was told. And I can believe that Aerys and Mack are still good friends, because they probably out here in California still being friends, hanging around, smoking weed, chasing women in Mack's Corvette. I know they good friends. They probably are really good friends. And then Dom kept trying to tell us she was all sad about the marriage coming to end, because Dom tells us a story about after Pastor Cal left, she called Mack back and said, well, maybe we can make this work. And she said, Mack said, thank you, but no thank you. So that's what she said was the fact that he was the one that really wanted to break off the marriage, or broke off the marriage. Well, this is all after you said you wanted to break off. I thought you said that he wanted to break off the marriage first. And so you just said what he wanted you to say. Now we're finding that the story is, no, you wanted to break off the marriage. He didn't. But then when you came back, he said, you told him, oh, well, we can make it work, maybe. And he said, no, thank you. And now all of a sudden it's his fault too. No, that's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. And first of all, he already knew that your maybe was a lie. He already knew that someone must have said something to you, give it a chance. And that's the reason why you came back in. But he knew you didn't want to make this marriage worse. And he said, I know I don't need you wasting any more of my time because I'm already out here in Tennessee. I'm missing all my money from my cannabis business in California. And I need to pack my bags and get back to California and keep making this cannabis money because you are not worth the trip to Tennessee. That ain't the same thing. And she even said when they first went to this little group dinner, Mack pulled her aside and said, hey, let's go to the group dinner and let's just make it seem like it's a mutual decision. And we all saw that. We saw them when Mack first opened it up. He was saying, hey, it's a mutual decision of this and that. And I think Mack was trying to cover up for her. He was actually throwing her an olive branch because he was trying not to let everything fall on her. But then she criticized him and said, well, as soon as I started talking, he threw me under the bus and started saying, I want the divorce. Well, he threw you under the bus because when you started opening up your mouth, you started talking about him. So of course he threw you under the bus. He went in with a game plan saying, let's both take equal accountability. But then when you went into the dinner and giving your explanation, you were doing what you do best. You was putting all the work on him. So what he said was, well, dang, if you're going to go back to blaming me for it, I'm going to go back to blaming you for it. She is such a hypocrite. Such a hypocrite. But then when the punch comes back, she plays the victim and she cries. This is her MO, her whole life. And Jasmine and Nicole sat up here and believed her story and took the bait and, believed this story. But wait till they see the whole series. They'll flip back. They believe Dom's story here on this after party, but after they watch the whole series like we're watching it and they get to see everything, they'll realize she was lying to them there on that stage of the after party as well. And don't believe the story that Mack wanted the divorce and he was ready to give up after 5 days. Give me a break. It takes longer for mold to grow on bread. It takes longer than 5 days for mold to grow on bread than what Dom gave this marriage a chance. I ain't even got no mold on the bread in the amount of time it takes her to give up on this marriage. Dom said, you know what? She doesn't believe her age is a reason why she's not married. She's been wanting to be married. She thinks she's ready. She thinks that people classify her as just because she's 25. No, that's not it. That's not it. Nope, not at all. I am not saying she's not ready for marriage because she is 25 years old. I'm saying she's not ready to marriage because of things I said in that video. I think she's a liar. I think she doesn't know who she is. I think she plays dumb. I think she's got morality issues in many of the areas. I think she's selfish and I think she's a hypocrite. None of that has to do with her being 25 because let me tell you something. There's a lot of old people who have some of those same characteristics. So if she thinks just getting older will not make her all those things, that's not true. So I don't say it's because she's only 25. Some things maybe because she's only 25, she doesn't know what she wants. But these morality issues, this being hypocritical, this lying stuff has nothing to do with being 25 because you don't have to be these things at 25 years old. You really don't have to be these things. Anyway, that's it. Be sure to watch my other videos, y'all, and I will talk to you later. Bye.